Liz, your undervalued targets. Where do you want to start? Quarterback position?
Yes.
All right, let's start at quarterback. Where do you want to go? A lot of value here at the QB spot.
Well, Mike just mentioned him. Kyler Murray is the 12th quarterback coming off of the board around round 8 in 12-team leagues. Recency bias is a heck of a drug, and that is exactly proof, obviously. Despite missing the first 9 weeks of 2023 because of that ACL tear, which is what everyone is still remembering, right? Murray racked up 244 rushing yards. He was QB 13. He averaged over 30 rushing yards per game. And here's the stat that I like the most. He has, in fact, averaged at least 30 rushing yards every game for the entirety of his career. Wow. Now, Daniel, I believe we have spent a decent amount of time talking about how rushing stats for quarterbacks is a what?
Cheat code, Liz.
In fantasy football. Yep. So why wouldn't you want this option? And also, the offense is better now. He's got Marvin Harrison, right? Trey McBride is still there. Zay Jones was added. And you've got Trey Burton. Trey Burton improving behind.
McBride, yep.
No. The running back.
Oh.
Trey Benson. Trey Benson behind
a lot of Treys out there, huh?
There are. And Greg Dortch. And you also have Sophia Smith's fiance, who I love, Michael Wilson, there as well as a nice, deeper threat.
Yeah, I agree. And you talked about how well he finished last season. They were scoring 2+ touchdowns every game. He was good in fantasy, delivering QB1 numbers with Trey McBride, and that's it. I mean, Marquise Brown was out. I mean, they were really struggling with personnel, and he was still delivering in fantasy. So could not
also
agree
bolster the offensive line.
Yeah.
A little bit, which is what Kyler has been begging for since he entered the league.
Totally.
Yeah. Think there's a chance that he returns to that guy that, obviously we need to see him utilize his legs, but 500 rushing yards does not seem at all out of the question
Not at all.
with Kyler Murray. And
what do you have last year? 307 games.
I was going to say,
something?
if he's doing 500-600 rushing yards while adding all of these weapons in his offense, quarterback 12 seems like really great value for someone that we've seen be absolutely unreal in this.
So funny. We feel like we're so low on all these quarterbacks. Like Jordan Love, how is he QB 10? How? But there's so many good ones.
What are you going to put ahead of him?
There's so many good options.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about running back position. Liz.
Yeah. So I have been pounding the table on Jaleel McLaughlin as a late round dart throw, right? But I am also coming around on the idea of a Javonte Williams comeback. I feel like it's happening, and again, recency bias. Last year, he was sluggish, sure, coming off of the knee injury. But as Stefania always preaches, return to sport, very different than return to prior level of performance. And I think all training camp notes seem to indicate that he is back. He lost weight. Now, I know people like to get a little bit eye-rolly about the whole best shape of his life comments, but I think it applies here fine. There is still some question about the distribution of touches, but he managed 15 per game last year. The role seems exactly the same this year with an expected uptick in efficiency. The value is absolutely bananas. He's going in the 9th round. Would you rather, Mike, have Tony Pollard or Raheem Mostert? Or Javonte.
I think Williams has substantially more upside.
There you go.
So, yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about him recently. Where do you guys think he ranked in total touches last year in the entire NFL? Mike probably knows.
I don't know. 9th.
15th.
15th.
It's possible that Javonte Williams had as poor of an efficiency season as you could have while maintaining top 15 in the entire NFL touches. He was, in terms of the top 15 players of touches, fewest yards per carry, fewest yards per catch as well. He had 5 total touchdowns, also the fewest for anybody in that top 15 of total touches.
Richardson vibes feel.
So the question is, what do you value more? Do you value the fact that he was super inefficient and say, this is a sign that somebody can come and take this work from him? Or you say to yourself, in a year in which he was coming off of a major knee injury, he still carried all this value. I like Jaleel McLaughlin as a player a lot as well. I just don't know that I could ever see him taking on a massive workload that would take away from Javonte Williams. Maybe a boring player to be taking as your second or third running back, but he's my RB23, which is 6 spots ahead of the consensus ranks on ESPN.com right now.
Wow. That's quite a bit higher than most everybody else.
I think he's going to look a lot like the player that we expected him to be when he was taken at the top of the second round a few years ago and that big knee injury.
The tackle breaking ways, that's what we want to see. Can you also, do you remember he was entered the league when Vic Fangio was still in charge.
Yeah.
Doesn't that feel like a lifetime ago? I think that's
but
why.
He was also like 20, so he's still pretty young.
Right.
I think he's,
He had-
24, I
He
would
had
say?
1 week, I think 23, 1 week as a starting running back during his rookie season. This was when Melvin Gordon was still there.
That's right. Remember how
They
good he
do?
was that game? Yeah.
Running back 1 for the week.
Yeah.
So a
We've
lot
been
of that was
tempted by it,
testing, but still.
it hasn't.
Yeah. So I'm interested by him. Yep.
All right, let's talk about a wide receiver as well. Chris Godwin finishes wide receiver 28 last year, Liz, but it feels like there's more there.
Yeah, it wasn't a yardage issue for Godwin. He cleared 1,000 yards for the 4th of his last 5 campaigns. I think he's done it 3 years in a row. We talk about Mike Evans doing it 10 years in a row, but 3 years in a row, pretty impressive. It was a touchdowns issue for Godwin. He just had 2, and I think he only had 3 the year before.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
You don't like 5 touchdowns over 2 seasons, but I am bullish on him having a bit of a bounce back this year because of the new offensive coordinator, Liam Cohen, who, by the way, is a Rhode Island native, also former Brown University quarterbacks coach. So I love this. He is also a Sean McVay acolyte. So he has said that he wants Godwin back in the slot. We know that that's where Godwin, particularly at this point in his career, can absolutely thrive. Now, I am not calling Chris Godwin potentially Florida Cooper Kupp, but
You're also not.
I'm not saying it.
Interesting.
I am saying he's
that's
an
a fun one.
incredible value.
Okay.
Yeah, we just need more goal line looks, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Mike Evans, give up some end zone targets. Okay.
Meet in the middle.
Share him with your other guy.
You're getting him at the 9th or 10th round, somewhere right around that turn. So if he can up that touchdown production, given the rest of the volume that he has, it feels like, again, that'll be really good.
Early in his career, he did that. He was a touchdown threat for his first 2 seasons, and then it just kind of fell off. And so I don't know if that's usage or if it's specific to the player, but his career has taken an interesting arc.
7 touchdowns, 9 touchdowns, 7 touchdowns his first 3
Okay,
seasons.
so it was 3 seasons, and then what since then?
5, 3, 2.
That was some of that was probably Brady era. Yeah, a little bit of Brady era with the big
helps.
touchdown boost. Yeah, that helps.
Yep, that helps.
Yeah, Tom Brady sort of lifts.
the Winston
he's,
year?
he's the rising tide that lifts
Was
all
either the
boats.
Winston year where Winston had like the
30 for 30.
yeah.
No risk it, no biscuit season.
Yeah. We like that for fantasy.
Favorite.
Well, but
That's
Chris
Will Levis this
Godwin,
year. Let's go.
when in the slot, when he's managed a slot share percentage over or at least 50%, he has minimally managed wide receiver 2 numbers. So I think he's going to be in the slot for over 50% of his time.
Yeah, that's the and they're the alignments so far have had McMillan on the outside. Then he was the slot guy in college as well, but he's on the outside with Evans, and they are putting Godwin in the slot, so that's a good sign.
All right. We mentioned tight end. This is one of the names that Mike mentioned earlier.
Yeah. Mike,
Jake
we're
Ferguson.
vibing. Look at this.
Yeah, right?
All right.
Everybody's being nice.
That's
Everyone's being so nice. I'm a little nervous
Is
about
it just good
tonight's
behavior?
live.
By
Really
the end of
nervous
the
about
week,
the
when I'm ready to
Boston show.
leave, when I'm ready to leave, you guys will stop
Before
being
that, they were
nasty
like,
again.
"Be really nice to Mike, because we're going to get him tonight." He just wait.
I think Jake Ferguson is an incredible value, right? He slid into
Agreed.
that Dalton Schultz role beautifully. He converted 71 of 102 for just over 750 yards and 5 touchdowns. He was fantasy's tight end 9 overall. He's going to give you a floor of like 10 PPR fantasy points per week. I will take that. It's nice. It's easy. It's easy going. I don't mind Dak Prescott's second favorite target behind CeeDee Lamb, and also. Brandon Cooks is entering his age 30 or 31 season now?
Yeah, 30, yes.
No other changes to the receiving core. So-
Exactly, yeah. No impact number 2 receiver added or number 3, anyone. So he should
Other
stay-
than development of Jalen Tolbert.
Yeah, and if fine sleeper there, but I mean Ferguson should be locked in as the 2. And are we? I mean, I know you're confident CeeDee Lamb will be out there week 1. I think we all are, but he's not there yet. Yeah.
Very confident. Very, very confident.
I feel like there's just so many spots, and we talk about it like I feel like we say it over and over. But this year, more than any other year, it just feels like going into fantasy drafts, there's so much more value that can be had that I don't feel like I need to reach at any position anywhere. It's not like I've got to reach to make sure I get one of these top 3 quarterbacks, because if you don't get one of those guys, or if you don't get one of the top 3 running backs, like you are just out of luck. Like there's just
Let me offer you a bit of advice off of that then. Early in your drafts, go big or go home, baby. And
take
that's
the guy
okay.
you want.
Yeah,
I would
take
say
the guy.
just skip your first few picks. Like just trade
But
down.
if we're acknowledging that, like, hey, you can get some good players in round 7 through 12, then if you feel like doing something a little bit audacious in the first 7 rounds, go for it, baby.
Because it's not like you're not gonna come home with a 0 from your 7th round.
Yeah, there are more good fantasy football players this year than in recent years in our estimation.
Yeah.
So go big.
I love it.
You don't win your fantasy league by finishing 4th out of 10 teams, right?
How early would you take Andre Iosivas?
It's a question for Liz.
Liz, how early are we taking him?
Chase is suiting up, right?
I really dig this kid. I mean, we know that Joe Burrow likes Tigers, right? But this one doesn't come from LSU. This one comes from Jersey. Wow. And I swear Stefano did not pay me to hype this guy because he's a Princeton grad. He only had 15 receptions last year, right? But I believe that 4 of them were touchdowns, 2 with Joe Burrow, and then 2 in Week 18. No Tyler Boyd, right? So he is potentially going to replace Tyler Boyd in the slot. You mentioned the rookie, Jermaine Burton, I believe, right?
Yep.
Who is competing for that spot. But Asfield, thank you for setting me up for this. I don't think that Burton is refined enough to take the spot away from Iosivas. So I think also when we're looking at the Jamar Chase situation and frankly the disgruntled nature perhaps of this wide receiver core, then Princeton Tiger is an interesting late-round flyer. There's a ton of these late-round flyers, like Shakir, Pop Douglas. This guy's pretty deep, but I think the absence of Tyler Boyd makes him a little bit more appealing.
Yeah, I like him too as a flyer. I'm just worried like if Higgins is out or Chase doesn't suit up early, like they're going to use Trent Irwin as well, and you're going to see some Burton, and you're going to see like is he going to be a viable flex option? But again, we're talking.
They're also going to play 5 tight ends because of the Bengals.
Yeah, that's true.
Mike Gesicki's finally going to get his due here.
Stop saying that.